Hi, algebra students. Today we're going to take a look at some realistic piecewise functions. Sometimes information will be given about a graph without equations. Use the information to create the graph and answer the questions that follow. So here is our scenario. A snowstorm started at midnight. For the first 4 hours, it snowed at an average rate of 1/2 inch per hour. The snow then started to fall at an average rate of 1 inch per hour for the next 6 hours. Then it stopped snowing for 3 hours. Then it started snowing again at an average rate of 1/2 inch per hour for the next 4 hours until the storm was over. On the set of axes below, graph the amount of snow accumulated over the time interval of the storm. So let's start by rereading and graphing as we get some information. So again, it started with at midnight. For the first 4 hours, it snowed at an average rate of 1/2 inch per hour. So 4 hours and 1/2 inch per hour. So at 0 hours, or midnight in this case, it would be 0 inches of snow. After 1 hour, it would be 1/2 an inch. After 2 hours, 1 inch. 3 hours, 1.5, and 4 hours, 2 inches, which makes sense because half of 4 is 2. Okay, then from there, it started to fall at an average rate of 1 inch per hour for the next 6 hours. So 4 plus 6 we know is 10, so this is going to get us to the 10-hour mark. And again, it's 1 inch per hour over that time. So from 4 to 5, it jumps to 3. From 5 to 6, it jumps to 4. From 6 to 7, it jumps to 5. From 7 to 8, it jumps to 6. From 8 to 9, it jumps to 7. And from 9 to 10, 6 hours later, it jumps to 8. And then we draw our straight line through those points. Okay, now make sure you don't miss the next part. Then it stopped for 3 hours. So that means it's going to stay flat for the next 3 hours. So from 10 to 11, it's flat, 11 to 12, and then 12 to 1 or the 13th hour, it would still be flat. Then it started snowing again at an average rate of 1/2 inch again per hour for the next 4 hours. So from 13 to 14, it's going to be at 8.5. From 14 to 15 at 9. From 15 to 16 at 9.5. And from 16 to 7 all the way to 10 inches of snow, which completes our graph. Okay, so we did what our task was, which was to graph the amount of snow accumulated over the time interval of the storm. We know that we got 10 inches of snow in 17 hours. So now we have to answer the last part, which says determine the average rate of snowfall over the length of the storm. State the rate to the nearest hundredth of an inch per hour. So average rate is like calculating slope, and we know slope is change in y over change in x. So we know that the change in y is 10 because that's how far up we went. And we know the change in x is 17 because that's how many hours passed. So now again, it says to the nearest hundredth. So we're approximating, and we can use our calculator. And I already have that worked out there. 10 divided by 17 is 0.5882. And to the nearest hundredth, that would be about 0.59 inches per hour. All right, so pretty simple, no equation, so we don't have to use our calculator that much. You just have to keep in mind the rate and make sure you're very, very closely paying attention to the details in the problem so you don't skip any part. All right, so with that said, I think you guys can handle this on your own. So you're going to try the remainder of the lesson on your own. Be sure to ask questions if you do not understand any parts. And good luck.